Hey guys, Master Ningen here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And now that I've finally finished my set of shifts, those of you that were here for my summon stream know that I was in the middle of a set of night shifts when all this new content dropped. But that's finally over and done with, and all my summoning has been done for now. I've got a few stones left over. I'm not sure whether to save. I'm kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with the potential of top grossing rewards to decide before I go back in again, because I've got a few stones that I could spare, and I think I get paid on like the last day that the 3+1 is available, so I guess we'll have to see. So I've got a load of content to make and drop, actually finally showing off the units. I'm going to show off a couple of the new team builds, and then we'll do some fun stuff like Super Battle Road. So of course, to start, we are showing off the new Trunks on his new future team. He of course has a Future Saga leader skill, 3 key, HP and attack 170% and 130% defense. But his sub leader skill is Super Types, 3 key and 120 to stats. So that really opens up the team building options to pretty much whatever you have in your box. Let your imagination run wild. You want to run the Go Bros on this team? Run the Go Bros on this team. Yeah, you want to run a rotation of the two LR Super Saiyan 4s? You can do that. Obviously, they only fall under a 120% leader skill, so it's not the most ideal scenario for them in terms of how they will perform. But you can basically run anyone you want on this team, and well, super types, of course. And then the future types get that nice big 170% to attack and HP is good. Obviously, the slightly lower defense makes it a little bit less optimal for Super Battle Road. Ideally, if we could pick, you want 170% for attack and defense, because HP I feel is probably the least important of the three. But yeah, very good leader skill. In his first form, his super attack raises attack and does immense damage, and his passive gives him attack and defense 100% and then transform when conditions are met. So he transforms straight away on the third turn. There is no restriction or anything like that. So we will see that coming up very soon. And then he becomes the unit that you've all seen, I'm sure by now, talked about quite a lot by people on JP because of how good he is. His super attack then becomes the ability to cause immense damage and infinitely stack attack and defense. So his transformation mechanic, pretty cool. I've seen a lot of comments from people that get mad when they reuse old card art as parts of the animations. Like that last part there was the old TEQ Super Saiyan Future Trunks art, but I don't really care. Like the animation itself looks cool, so I feel like that is all good. So let's leave you in the front. I'm going to keep this Trunks floating because he's obviously a very, very good support unit. So yeah, he can infinitely stack his attack and defense once he transforms, and then his passive becomes attack and defense 120%. Key +1 and an additional attack and defense +10% at the start of each turn, up to 4 key and 80%. So after 8 turns, he's going to be fully maxed out from his passive, and then of course he's still infinitely stacking his attack and defense. So one of the things that was found very early on JP is that despite being a TEQ unit, if you do the legendary Goku event, by the time you get to the end, he is one of those units that will be tanking for double digits, even though he has type disadvantage. So, and then of course, the icing on the cake, he does have an active skill, where he will transform once again. That can be activated on the next turn after transforming. So it's the Trunks and Zamasu have very good transformation and active skill restrictions. Like it's very, very easy to get and use them, which is you know, it's what you want from these new units. Like as good as LR Super Saiyan Gohan is without needing to be transformed, you want him to transform. You want to see those cool animations, the cool super attacks. Like you want your transforming units to actually be able to transform. And so Trunks and Zamasu, I've been having a lot of fun using them because their transformations are of no effort whatsoever to get. As long as you're not in an event that you're just going to finesse in like 3 turns, then you're actually going to get to see their abilities. Now, Trunks, more so than Zamasu, I think, is one of those units that, especially in harder events like the legendary Goku event, you're not going to transform him until maybe like the last turn to deliver a finishing blow. We'll go through Zamasu's details a bit more once we actually do his team showcase, which will be coming up next. But yeah, the Trunks will transform into a nuker, but he loses that defensive prowess. So we will go over the details. I'll try and make sure we get to use that on the final turn here to finish off Boo. I also brought one of the TEQ nuking items to see just how high we can actually get his attack stat. So the other unit that I haven't talked about yet, who is on the team, is of course the Int Mai, who recently got an awakening with the new events coming out. So she has awakened into a time traveler's 120% leader. So that's really, really good. I'm sure that's going to be really useful for a lot of people out there. If you've never pulled LR Trunks and Mai or Int Goku Black, then you don't have a time traveler's leader. And obviously if you're one of those people that went in on the Heroes banner recently when it finally came to Global, all of those units are in the time travelers category. So there's quite a lot of newer team options on Global for that team, but there wasn't as many leaders, whereas I feel like the Int Mai has been around for long enough now that you've probably pulled at least one copy of her at some point. So she also has an Int types sub lead, 3 key 70%, so I mean it's not terrible. She's definitely a viable option for making a time travelers team, and then that secondary part you can just fill in any gaps where you're lacking in other units. So she causes supreme damage with her super attack with a high chance to stun, which is 50%, and then she is also a support unit, so just another reason why she's really, really good. Actually, we'll let Trunks go first here. Let's see how he's going to tank, considering we've got type disadvantage. His defense up to about 120,000, so that's not too bad. And then we'll give you all of those, and we'll give you that. So she's a time travelers category support unit for 2 key and attack and defense 40%. So obviously that's very, very good. And then she's one of those units that has the passive ability, high chance of stunning the attacked enemy, so 40%. That's only for the turn that it's in. And of course the problem is with units that have this and the stun on their super attack, if you super attack with her, obviously now, after an update quite a while ago, you can see the stun icon appear straight away below their bar, so you know that you've stunned them. But unfortunately you don't know which one it is. So it could be the one from her passive, which means they're only stunned until the end of that turn, or it could be the actual one from her super attack, which means they're then stunned for 2 turns. But the good thing is, it is 2 separate chances, especially if you super attack. So she can be very useful. I do still think the AGL one is better for Super Battle Road, where... Let me just do this quickly, let's give you one orb, yeah. So in Super Battle Road, you really want to stun like whenever you can, and things like the Time Travelers stage is very easy to do with like a never-ending stun train. So the AGL one has a 70% chance to stun. She's also a support unit, but I believe she only gives 20%. One of the major differences is this Int one, because she awakens from the new Trunks event, she does have Fierce Battle, whereas the AGL one is one of those waifu cards that awakens from the Ribrianne event, so she has Shattering the Limit. So depending on your team build and what the other units have, then obviously the Mai can come in very handy, because that Fierce Battle is another attack boost on top of the fact that she's already a 40% leader. So yeah, if we're not careful, we're just going to kill Boo. So I think next time we're going to go ahead and use the Spirit Sword. So let me just bring up the details here on the wiki for this transformed form. So he does immense damage to the enemy and massively lowers defense. He gets attack 30% and defense 10% per key sphere obtained. His attacks are effective against all types, and he randomly changes key spheres of a certain type, other than TEQ, obviously, because then it wouldn't do anything, to TEQ. And it's once only, so it is the turn that he transforms. So, of course, Mai has Fierce Battle with him, doesn't she? So, I can't avoid a super attack, so let's put Mai first. I guess I could just put Trunks first. Although he gets so many better links if I do this. There's no way Mai's gonna kill Boo by herself, so we'll put you first. And then let us go ahead here and use our Spirit Sword. Very cool animation. I do love both of the new units' animations for their transformations and their active skill. I'm not a huge fan of the like corrupted Zamasu form, but even his is awesome. But we'll go into that in more detail in his video. So please change the STR ones. Okay, so this is definitely an example of a bad turn for this ability. So let's go ahead and use this. Come on, hit me with them reds. Really? Well, I guess we have to use it twice. The attack boost doesn't stack, but the orb changing ability does. So, wow. Okay, well we got we got cucked on that. So we are going to pick up what, 7 orbs. It's not ideal, but if I put the LR Trunks in the middle, he probably will kill him. So we'll pick those up. And then, yeah, so you can see his defense is lower than it was when he was in his previous transformed state. But his attack stat already over 1 million, and it hasn't even factored in like the SA multiplier and stuff yet. So, yeah, that's pretty good straight off the bat, considering we only picked up 7 tech orbs. You imagine if we actually got those red orbs to change, that would have been an absolute massacre. But 3.73 million on the attack stat. Also, I don't think I mentioned it, but both my Trunks and the friend are only 69%. I made sure to bring a friend that was the same, just to kind of show how good he is with one dupe, because that's what I managed to get. And then he's one of those units that has a nice cool little special ending screen if you finish them off with the actual active skill. So yeah, he's very cool. The team is a lot of fun. Like I said, I'll be showing off Zamasu's new Realm of Gods team, and then I'll be doing some stuff like Super Battle Road and things like that with these teams. 2 very fun units. The banners are absolutely stacked, and they improved them for Global, which is really cool. So yeah, hopefully, at the time of recording, it hasn't happened yet. Hopefully we'll get top grossing sometime in the next day or so we can get some extra stones. And then, like I said, maybe I'll jump back in for another rotation. Because I feel like with this kind of event, with top grossing, they're likely to give less stones total, but they might give out some tickets. Maybe like 30 stones and then tickets for both banners, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. So, but anyway, let me know down below, what do you think of the new future team and the new Trunks? Which do you prefer out of Trunks and Zamasu? Let me know all of that down below in the comments. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord. The link is in the description below. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.